Internet, and welcome to another TADPOG podcast, a weekly show where just two old guys talk about old games. I'm your bearded host, Tyler, and I'm going to finish the story I started last week.
I was hoping you'd remember part 2.
As last we left off on my masturbatory 15-year-old masturbatory adventures.
The last we left off was set up like a serial. The last we saw you had printed off some prodigy pornography on the back of your church bulletin.
Yes. Gotten caught, stayed up all night deleting it.
Right.
And then they took me to church camp the next morning.
So you got to go to church camp.
I did get to go. They said
clearly
I
you needed
Jesus.
it.
Yes. Which I was only going to this church camp because I had a huge crush on a girl that was in, it wasn't my church that I was going with. I was going to somebody else's church. I just had a crush on the girl.
Okay.
And wanted to go to church camp because she was there.
Touch her butthole.
Touch her butthole. So, went to church camp, centrifuge, if anyone out there is familiar for some reason.
Well, they spin you around until
to all your blood. Yeah,
Right.
it's a really fun, but it invites in the Holy Spirit when you spin around like that.
You got to separate the blood of Christ.
Went to that, had a religious experience where I felt so bad about sitting and I wasn't gonna do it anymore, and that was it. And I got back, and then reality set back in. My dad is he has a special napping power. He can just immediately fall asleep whenever he wants, wake up 20, 30 minutes later, immediately be totally fine. He's refreshed.
Fully recharged.
Yep. And he would always take a 20-minute nap every day, set the timer on the stove, and go to bed. So he goes to bed, and I just get incredibly aroused. Sitting there, 15-year-old
From him
boy,
going to bed?
Dad went to bed. Oh shit! No, I was probably watching probably Xena, and then he went to bed, and I was like, okay, I know I've got 20 minutes. So go over, fire up the old compact Presario.
There's 10 minutes wasted.
Yep. I believe I was looking at who was my favorite porn star at the time, Jasmine St. Clair.
I'm unfamiliar.
She's nice. She's nice. Okay, my dad always slept until the oven timer went off.
Okay. I'm
at the family computer in the living room. I'm beating off full tilt. I am almost
You got to beat the clock, man.
Yeah, I'm totally into it. Sensory deprivation. It's only me and Jasmine St. Clair on the screen. I don't hear him wake up early. The next thing I realize is there's a hand touches my shoulder, caught you. And I'm just sitting there paralyzed, dick in hand, porn on the screen. Because, of course, I'd lied so much. I'd come back like a converted man, and then Dad catches me dick in hand, and then he just leaves. He just leaves the house, goes to...
So did you come or what?
Jesus, Dave! There's some things you don't talk about. But I did not. I've shamefully pulled up my pants. Because the anxiety took hold of me then. I was like, oh God, because he didn't say anything, just left. It's like, oh, what's he going to do? So I go down in the garage where he's working. He will not speak to me. I try asking about various things. I try bringing it up a little bit. He won't talk to me. He won't look at me.
And here we are today.
Yep. Well, the next day, he resumes activities as normal. But he doesn't tell my mom. I don't hear anything about it. I think I'm scot-free. 2 weeks later, the girl that I had a crush on that I went to Centrifuge, her mom checks us out of school, and we go over to her house, and we're hanging out, watching a movie.
Why did she check you out of school?
Because we were gonna hang out. We were best friends, but
was her mom like a hippie or something?
Yeah, she always checked us out of school. She didn't give a shit. We're in middle. I think we were in middle school. Maybe it was freshman year of high school. But yeah, checks us out. She did that 2 or 3 times.
Yeah.
Once I forgot to call my mom and tell her I was checking out of school. So for some reason she called the school to ask where I was that day. And they're like, oh, he's been checked out. They didn't tell who. They didn't know who had checked me out, anything like that. My mom called the sheriff's office.
Oh, my
God. They had cops out looking for me. And I was at the girl's house. Fell asleep watching The Man in the Iron Mask. But I get home. We just get to her house.
Yeah.
And I'm enjoying spending time with her. I have a huge crush on her. And then my mom calls me. She's like, I'm coming to get you immediately. I had a talk with your dad. Like, he sat on it for 2 weeks just to make me squirm. And then when I was doing something I really wanted, that's when he sees his opportunity and just fucking stab me in the back. Told your mom about you jerking it. You son of a bitch.
How'd your mom handle it?
She cried. Yeah. I very rarely got in trouble as a kid. I believe 3 or 4 times I got grounded for 1 or 2 weeks each time for lying over random shit.
Over masturbation.
Lying about, yeah. I think it was like, it wasn't the fact I was doing it. It was the fact that I lied about it. It was, whatever. Okay, whatever. I remember I lied. I told... you remember those sticky hands?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Or you were buying like the quarter machines?
Yeah, or getting like Cracker Jack or whatever.
Yeah, those were super popular. I remember like I lied to my parents to each one that the other one didn't give me money so I could get 2. Weird that I was going to come back with the evidence of having 2 in my hands. And then I got granted for like 2 weeks for that. Like, just random weird shit. But that is the end of my masturbation story.
And hey, I'm Dave, your bespectacled host, and I've always been extremely sensitive about growing any kind of facial hair whatsoever. I actually have not shaved in a couple of days, so I've got this weird growth going right now. Looks pretty good. And it makes me feel really anxious. I'm like Scott Pilgrim with his hair, because like literally this has happened to me at work a couple months ago. I went into work, someone came into my office to talk to me about the regular stuff, and they make an offhand comment. They say, "Oh, hey, you growing a mustache?" And I said, "No." And then they left the office. I went home and shaved and came back to work.
Tell your boss, taking a vacation hour.
No, I didn't say anything to anyone. I just got up, left, came home, shaved, got back in my car, immediately came back to work, and sat down, went back to work.
What's the longest you've been without shaving?
It's not very long. It seems like I always just kind of like stop giving a shit in July for some reason. I don't know what it is about July, but July is always the month.
My birthday. That's why. Yeah. Like that's where all the caring goes. So let your beard grow.
So yeah, usually in July I'll go like a week or so without shaving.
Okay. Because I bet you could grow a decent like goatee.
It'd be okay
if you went a few weeks.
If it was all the same color, that's the problem.
My hair and beard are 2 different shades of red. Oh, and today, I should tell Meg, by the time she listens to this, it will not be, but as of recording, today is our 5th wedding anniversary.
Congratulations.
So, yeah. To take a Louis C.K. joke, we're almost done.
Right.
So.
See, I love how we take the jokes, but we credit them.
Yeah.
Thanks to Pat Oswalt.
Look at this deal, yeah. Pat Oswalt's fucking rant ruined that.
Tyler, we do a little something on the show where we go through IGN's top 100 Super Nintendo games and we talk about them.
Yep.
Talk about them right here. After we get done talking about masturbation.
About 40% of these podcasts we talk about.
It's anywhere between 40 to 50% is masturbation.
It's mostly dicks and Super Nintendo games.
Yeah, maybe we should change this a little bit. We play our way through IGN's top 100 Super Nintendo games in between sweaty masturbation sessions.
Because Tyler and Dave talk, is it Tad? Talk about dicks. Tad.
So anyway, if anyone is still listening, this week we're talking about Rocky and Pocky 2.
Pocky and Rocky?
Pocky and Rocky. What did I say?
Rocky and Pocky.
Oh yeah, Pocky and Rocky.
The food comes before the animal.
Which is what? That's IGN's 73rd ranked Nintendo game? Super Nintendo game?
72nd, right? Rock and Roll Racing is 71, and then Populous is 70?
Rock and Roll Racing is 72.
Shit. Mm-hmm. What am I missing then?
Let's see. Pocky and Rocky 2 is 73. Rock and Roll Racing is 72. Jungle Strike is 71.
Okay. Jungle Strike. That game I've never heard of. That's the one I forgot about.
Speaking of games I've never heard of, I never heard about this game.
Nope, neither did I.
But I guess before we get into that, Tyler, what have you been playing this week? Anything?
Nothing good. I guess I've played more song pop than usual. I 5-starred video games and US TV themes, and that gave me VIP membership for 5 days.
The fact that is the precursor to that is US makes me a little worried. Like, is there like Russian TV themes.
I was expecting like British TV themes, which I could do okay at. I like British TV. Not there yet. It's just US TV themes, and then a few days ago they came out with 80s TV themes.
Okay.
Which so far they've just been US shows. So I imagine eventually they're going to come out with something else.
I hope it's something just completely off the wall. Ecuador.
Ecuadorian TV themes. It's just two shows.
It's really an easy category once you figure it out.
Because I got the VIP status, which means you can do unlimited challenges as a VIP member. I don't have it. I'd use the free version because the VIP membership is like $8 a month.
For Song Pop?
Yeah.
Christ, man.
So fuck that.
Right?
Yeah, it's not worth that much.
That's
So-
Hulu Plus money.
Exactly,
that's
for
insane.
Song Pop. Fuck, it's pretty ridiculous. I'll just keep, it's the second time I've had VIP status. So I guess the more you play the free, they'll be like, hey, why don't you check this out? But
They're trying to hook you.
yeah, since I get unlimited challenges, I just went fucking nuts for 5 days and racked up. It caps you out at 20 for free. So I racked up like 100 challenges. So I spent a lot of time trying to maintain all the people I've challenged. Like, take a lot of shit breaks at work.
Right.
So that's
Oh, yeah.
that's where I do my Song Pop. So, and otherwise getting acclimated to the new job is still taking up most of my time. So it was Pocky Rocky 2, Song Pop on my breaks. That's it. I need to start playing. I'll probably start playing Rock and Roll Racing like tomorrow.
Yeah, I need to start early. Not to get too wrapped up in Rock and Roll Racing, but I played the hell out of that game as a kid.
I feel like I'd heard of it, but I don't think I ever played it. So
That doesn't surprise me too much.
you shouldn't. What have you been playing this week?
Tyler, I have been playing, believe it or not, a shitload of Animal Crossing New Leaf.
Oh God!
Still.
Wow. Yeah, Meg too. So
I'm not going to talk about that a whole lot because I also played The Last of Us, which is an amazing game. It's an amazing game. The Last of Us for PS3. I'm sure everyone listening has played that game.
probably
If you have not played that game,
me.
play that game.
Okay.
Play it. That should be your next game.
Meg's mother supposedly ordered it for me off Amazon for my birthday.
Check in on that.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Because it is really good. It is definitely a contender for my game of the year. I thought it was better than BioShock Infinite. This is probably the best game I've played this year.
So we're gonna do a special December 30th show where we talk about our best of the year, TADPOG's best of the year.
I would love to do that.
Okay,
I would love to do that. I think we should have two different ones. We should have our best Super Nintendo games of the year and our best games of the year.
Okay, done.
So we can keep it relevant.
Yeah, what we do. I had a mouthful of Orange Crush there. Sorry, listeners. I just felt the need to comment immediately and not swallow that Orange Crush.
But it's a great game. It's heavier on the survival side and less on the horror side, which I was surprised, but it tells a wonderful story, and it continues this trend that we've been seeing recently of quasi father-daughter relationships in games.
So just a non-sexual male-female relationship.
Yeah. It seems like we've had a lot of those in quick succession with The Walking Dead and then BioShock Infinite and then The Last of Us.
Yeah, that's true.
So I think that's a great thing. But there's some really, really good character development in the game, and it works on an emotional level and it works mechanically. It's really good.
I will try it as soon as it gets in.
It's a lot like a game I've been playing recently called Pocky and Rocky 2.
Oh yeah, they sound very similar.
Except instead of trying to survive after an infectious disease ravages the countryside, you have kind of this father-daughter relationship between a mythical raccoon and a shrine maiden.
The virus awakens all the raccoon creatures.
It is completely platonic relationship between these two, as far as we know. There's no on scene or there's no on camera love scene, Mass Effect style.
There's some fucked up fan fiction out there somewhere.
Yeah.
Pocky and Rocky. Before Pocky and Rocky, though, I just real quick, so we have something to throw on
sweet
this.
segue. You're just throwing away my sweet segue.
I got to throw something for our Amazon connection.
Oh, okay. You've been reading something, huh?
Yep. It's easy to do prep at work and listen to a book. So I started King of Thorns, sequel to Prince of Thorns by Mark Lawrence.
Is Emperor of Thorns next?
I assume so. He's trying to become emperor, so probably. Because he was a prince, in this book he's a king, and if he becomes an emperor, I'm sure that'll be the next one.
I was just being asinine.
Nope, totally right.
Apparently I can title fiction books.
But so far it's very good if you like your fiction gray. Just very, very gray, which I do. So that's all I gotta say about that. So Pocky and Rocky.
There's a King of Thorns in Pocky and Rocky.
Is there?
No, I was just hoping
I was trying to think of
I was just hoping you'd say
were
something.
there any big fucked up bosses? Okay.
Actually, okay, I can make this work. There's a Gate of Thorns of types.
Okay.
Because the Demon Gate summons all those thorns from the ground.
That's true. This is true. We're drawing those very tenuous lines.
I guess before we get too deep, if you'll indulge me, I like to do this little segment. It's gonna be pretty short.
I figured.
Believe it or not. Called Dave Reads from Wikipedia. Here we go. Guys, Pocky and Rocky 2 is an action-adventure video game developed and published by Natsumi in Japan and in North America in 1994. It is the sequel to Pocky and Rocky, period.
Oh, okay.
There is some more, but it talks more about the gameplay, which we'll get into.
Yeah. I mean, I missed Pocky and Rocky.
What? How?
Yeah. I don't know.
How in the world did you miss the first
So
one?
I'm assuming the first one is just about a transgendered individual who makes friends with an awakened Tanuki. And that's going to be all the first one's probably about.
Why trans? Where's the trans come in?
I feel like Pocky is rocking the whole Japanese androgynous thing for power. Because androgyny is a symbol of power in Japan.
Yeah.
So I didn't really get any strong inclination that Pocky was one thing or the other.
Yeah, the only reason that I got any inclination that she's female is that when she gets hit, her clothes fly off. So I thought that was pretty typical otaku style. But other than that, yeah, I guess it could be a man's clothes falling off. Man, now I feel dirty. Your dad's not going to talk to me for weeks.
Nope.
So I never played Pocky and Rocky either. So this is completely new to me. Pocky and Rocky 2 is a game I never heard of until we started this show. And we looked down the list and I saw number 73, Pocky and Rocky 2, eh?
Because, I mean, it's going to be pretty good if it's above, something iconic like Shadowrun and
Right.
Soul Blazer.
A Street Fighter game.
Yeah, so this is supposed to be pretty good.
Yeah.
Be this high. Somebody, I'm assuming someone at IGN was very young and had a hot cousin that owned this game and had fond, confusing memories of playing Pocky and Rocky 2 with a hot cousin. They were like, yeah, that game was amazing. 73. Because I don't understand why it's this high. I had enough fun playing it, but to be high 70s, I don't understand.
I like this game a lot. I'm glad it was on the list because I wouldn't have known about it otherwise. I'm glad I played it. It is challenging. It's a challenging game.
Yeah, it's a hard game.
And I didn't want to get into this so quickly, but this was probably the first game in the list that I rage quit. There's a stage in the game where you're riding Gordon the dragon. Everyone else in this game has these Japanese sounded names, and then you meet Gordon the dragon.
It builds up for a long time too, because you have to go find the dragon off.
Right. So Gordon the dragon is flying you to the floating demon castle, and man, I could not get past this stage. I tried this over and over and over again, and it finally got to the point where I literally threw down the controller and I said, I'm done. At least for tonight, I am done.
Mm-hmm. It took me a lot of tries to get. I beat it. Those last two levels were not a fun journey. It's kind of classic, over-the-top gameplay to where you have your partner doesn't initially have to be Rocky. Rocky is a Tanuki, or you can have Big Bob.
Bomber Bob. Yeah. He's a big, slow guy who throws bombs, believe it or not.
There's a ninja.
Little ninja.
Little ninja.
I believe that's her name.
Yep. Somebody I'd never used. I forget who the third character you start off with is.
The three you start off with are Rocky, Little Ninja, and Bomber Bob.
Oh, okay.
And then you pick up, apparently there's one that you pick up after that I completely missed.
They got the Scarecrow.
See, the Scarecrow's the next one I got as well, but I've heard there's one in between them.
Oh.
Who's like a Tengu. I don't know where the hell you get him, but I completely missed him. Because, I got Dr. Crane, I like to call him. Who is described as he's a suave scarecrow. I don't know what the fuck. I didn't even know they had scarecrows in Japan.
He's just laying it a
I didn't know they had crows in Japan.
Well, crow people, the Tengu.
That is not a crow. That is a crow person. Entirely different.
Exactly. So they want to mate with the crows, but they just, these mythical. There's a mole. I got the mole. And
I did not. I missed the mole.
And then you get the last one, like Octobot. You get a robot.
Right.
You just walk in. Hey, I've made this for you, Octobot. Which I used Bomber Bob for a while, and then switched to Rocky. I had more success with Rocky.
So we're talking about all these partners, and what the partner does is essentially follows Pocky around and throws things at enemies. Mm-hmm. And as Pocky, you're pretty much doing the same thing. Walking around, you're throwing cards at enemies. Mm-hmm. And I don't know shit about Shinto, the Shinto religion.
Yeah. Mm.
I don't know what those cards are actually called, but I know shrine maidens like hang those up to ward off evil spirits.
Okay.
So those are the things that she's throwing.
And
I'm sure someone will correct us.
They'll get larger the more power-ups you get. And
Right.
they're bearing like the Japanese. They'll have the Japanese flag that you're throwing.
Right.
You have a melee attack that I never used.
Actually, I didn't use that until the Gordon level because it's extremely useful because all that shit is flying at you. I just spammed melee and I could get to the boss every single time, but I would die every time. I have to start over from the beginning, get to him, die, rinse, repeat.
Because I feel like it is the most, has the most mindset of NES game of all the SNES games we have played so far. Because it's I think there are 6 or 7 stages.
Mm-hmm.
Right? They're not. It's a pretty short game, but to compensate, they crank up the difficulty. You have only a few number of lives, which you can buy lives, but they're very, very expensive. You can't buy any other power-ups if you're going to buy lives.
Right.
And if you run out of lives, you start all over again.
Well, the good news is they're pretty liberal with the continues because you can continue all you want once you die. The problem is that you do have to start the stage over again. Mm-hmm. That could be worse.
Could be worse. Could be ghouls and goblins. Go away.
Yeah, ghosts and goblins or ghouls and ghosts.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, that would have been really rough. I wouldn't have lasted nearly as long as I did. They've also got a password save, which is nice as well because I didn't play this all in one sitting. So I actually used the passwords that I got. What I think is I was a little frustrated about this because this game is essentially a cleverly disguised side-scrolling shooter.
Yeah.
Because take all the art direction, take all of the art, and replace it with spaceships on a scrolling black background with stars, and you've got the same game.
Exact same thing, yep.
So I was a little disappointed because I'm not very good at games like that. There were times in the later stages of this game where it felt like a bullet hell game, like Contra, that just drives me up the wall, where you're just like there's a stage, and I know I'm jumping all around, but there's a stage where you go through this like lava field. And it's like you were just, all you're doing is dodging. Like shit's coming out of lava, worms are coming out of lava, spitting at you, and then you like little flame things are jumping around, like chasing you up the level. And it's just like, I felt like the whole time, I'm like just dodging projectiles until I get to the end.
That's the point in the game where I realized, like, if I stop and try to kill everything, it's going to be impossible. Right. So I just started running.
Through it. That's exactly what I did too.
The only thing you can do.
So I got a little pissed off because that's not how I like the game. Mm-hmm. I'm with you. Because I never feel in control in games like that. I always feel like I'm just one step behind.
Yeah. There's also the magic mechanic that is important, that you can throw your partner for a magical, you can either jump into their body.
Right,
and
violently.
They have
Fusion
different abilities. Fusion, Dragon Ball, nice. And then, or you can throw them at the enemy, and they each have a different
gigantic mega attack.
Yep.
My favorite is probably Bomber Bob's because when you throw him, you see this little girl pick up this gigantic ogre of a man, throw him across the screen, and he explodes into a flaming kanji symbol.
Yep. Which I used him for a while, but then I had honestly better success with the weird statue that Rocky would become.
Because he's a Tanuki. We haven't talked about the Tanuki yet. I've got, and man, he looks, doesn't he look weird as shit when he turns into a statue?
Yep.
That's what those fucking Tanuki statues look like. Have you seen them before?
I've seen them in Chinese or
Japanese.
I think I've seen them in local Chinese restaurants.
Oh, really?
Actually. Yeah.
Once again, I don't know shit.
Like, Americans don't know the difference, blanc. Because I've seen one in our local Chongs.
Did it have gigantic testicles? Because that is what
Nope.
That is what Tanuki are known for. There's a Japanese like childhood rhyme that talks about how Tanuki's balls sway in the wind.
Because I guess most people are familiar with Tanukis from Mario Brothers 3.
Right.
That is where you get the Tanuki suit and you turn into a statue.
Right.
And then less familiar, I remember Josh of Uniracers fame would talk about the anime where like Tanukis and their balls, they would pull up their balls and use them to fly.
Yeah, it's a studio.
Ghibli.
Yeah, Studio Ghibli. I can't remember the name of it. It's like Palm something. Matt Barger will know. So
Yeah.
Matt, if you know, call in. Tell
If
us.
you're still listening.
Right. Yeah, if you're still listening after Illusion of Gaia, which we're not sure you are. We hope you are.
So gameplay aside, the whole, you're right. I didn't think about the whole shooting mechanic, but you're 100% right. And I feel like the narrative wasn't as confusing, but it was every bit as choppy as Illusion of Gaia because it just like, I think that was mostly translation because it was written by an elementary school student studying a second language.
Right. Yeah, I don't have as big a problem with that in a game like this where it's just kind of like, okay, obviously no one's playing this game for the story. Like, the story is really
I want to see where Pocky Rocky 1 is left me hanging. What happens in Pocky Rocky 2?
Do they get together? Does Rocky take those huge balls and sweep her off her feet and fly off into the sunset? We'll have to find out.
You just wrote chapter 1 the fan fiction.
I gotta collaborate with Megs246. We'll do the Pocky and Rocky spanking fanfic.
Pocky shamefully spanks Rocky for not defeating an enemy.
You've been a bad girl. Come over here. I'm gonna spank you with my elephantitis testicles.
But because you're at like a festival and the Moon Princess is coming to town. Lunar Festival.
Right?
Yeah. Moon Princess is coming to town. Impy.
And it specifically says she is from the moon, Tyler. Yep. You're leaving out a very important detail.
The Moon Princess is from the moon.
In case you couldn't put that together.
And then looks like a person with horns named Impy just jumps down, one horn, head.
And I say that because I immediately thought of a Final Fantasy summoner when I saw him.
That's good. That's a good description because it is exactly like that. Because he jumps down, I'm taking the Moon Princess. Goodbye. Jumps up, and then Pocky and Rocky are there. Oh, we gotta save the princess.
Yep.
The music was good. I feel like it had a strong Asian quality to it.
Yes. I think prior to this, the game that we had played and thought was the most Japanese is, correct me if I'm wrong, Super Bomberman 2. Mm-hmm. Because all the emotes of the Bomberman are extremely anime style.
Yeah.
This game is like, if this game were made in North America, it would be racist to Japanese people. Like, the only way that this game could be the way it is the fact that it was made in Japan. Because I have never played a game more Japanese than this. Because it's like, the music is very stereotypically Japanese. Mm-hmm. The art direction, the art style is very Japanese. All the enemies you're fighting. And see, this is the part of the game that I really like. Like, the enemies you're fighting are all from like Japanese folklore. Like, for instance, there's a stage I think called like Kappa River, which ever since Final Fantasy VI, I've had this fascination with Kappa, the turtle trolls in Japanese folklore.
And in Animal Crossing New Leaf when you meet one.
Right, yeah, Kappin, who ferries you across. So this game is extremely Japanese, and the fact that it even like features a main character who's a Shinto shrine maiden, and your partner is a statuary tanuki. I mean, I don't know if it gets more Japanese than this.
I think this will top our list until we get to Legend of the Mystical Ninja.
Oh, I've never played that.
I haven't either, because when I was talking to Jess at Sugar Street Post, I was asking her, "It's like you need to host a show. What do you want to host?" She's like, "Oh, I have to do Legend of the Mystical Ninja. Have to."
Is that on the list?
It's on the list.
Wow, I didn't even know.
I think it's relatively high. It's the closest thing that we'll see her host. So I'm calling her out now, letting Tadpole listeners know, and she'll hear this when she listens to it before she puts it up. She said she was going to host, so she should be on for that show. But so I looked at it, it supposedly kind of broke through as being like a first very strong, more realistic Japanese portrayal of Japanese history in gaming that came to America. So until we hit there, Pocky Rocky is probably going to be, that's our new ceiling.
Well, we'll see. I haven't played it, Tyler, so we will see.
Legend of the Ninja versus Pocky Rocky Japan off.
Can I say something I thought this game was great for and really surprised me?
Okay.
This game had a tutorial. This is the first game we have played on the list, on IGN's list, that had a tutorial that taught you how to play. The first level of the game, the 7 magicians show you what each button on the controller does. They show you what all the techniques are, and they show you pretty much everything you need to know to start the game. That is revolutionary. That, I think, honestly, man, that alone makes it list worthy. Because I can't think of very many Super Nintendo games that taught you how to play the game in a tutorial style.
Yeah, the only other one I can think of are the Mega Man X games.
But they did it a different way.
Yeah, they covertly teach you.
Which is better, I would say. But still, I think the way that Pocky and Rocky 2 did it is a step in the right direction, because I can't tell you how many games that I've played that are on this list where it's just like, flashback, I'm looking at you. Or have to go online and be like, what are the controls for this game?
Yeah, like a Shadowrun, how do I equip a gun? Fuck. This orc's just shooting me. Can't I walk up, punch him? Fuck.
Yeah. So I appreciate that. And I think that was cool that they had a whole little stage dedicated to these in-game characters teaching you how to play.
With the exception of Impy, all the bosses were very oversized versions of enemies, like just enemies like big faces and large people that were 4 times the size of Pocky.
Yeah.
So I think it's pretty stereotypical for the era.
I really like the bosses. Like, I like the way they looked. I like the way they worked. Probably my favorite, the one I thought was, I don't know, I thought they were all cool. Like, there's a fucking boss called Canimal. Who's this, like, shaggy demon, it's like this shaggy, like, giant shaggy woman who I assume it's a cannibal animal. That's why I like it so much. It sounds like someone's nickname in college. Oh, here comes the cannibal.
If your nickname was Cannibal in college, please let us know.
Please call in. But I thought they were cool. One of my favorites was I guess they were all kind of my favorite, come to think of it. But Beatty. This giant
monk's
purple
beads.
monk with a rope belt, and he has like these. Yeah, he's using like these giant prayer beads as a whip. Which I thought he was an easy boss, and that's another complaint that I have about this game, is that I know I'm going everywhere tonight, but the bosses range in difficulty from like you fight a really easy boss in the beginning and then a really hard one because Foxy is next, and I thought Foxy was incredibly difficult.
Yes. I had to do that several times.
And then the bosses then there's 2 more easy bosses, and then there's a super hard boss. But man, Foxy is this Kitsune, I don't know, who is just you have to beat him with Bomber Bob. Like Bomber Bob has to be your partner, or else it is just insanely difficult.
I had to look up that trick to be able to beat Foxy.
Did you buy the hint in the store? Because that's what I did.
Nope. I went to Game Packs.
Oh, the hints are free and plentiful.
I think there was like one very, again, a very, when you don't get a really popular game, you got slim pickings on Game Packs.
Yeah.
So, and because you're fighting Foxy, and then all the enemies' life are represented in candles.
Right.
So usually once you get into one last candle, that's when things change up.
Yes.
And that's when
they
Foxy,
change their pattern just completely
Yeah.
goes off the wall.
like Foxy's pattern, suddenly she's spewing baby Okami style foxes at you.
Yep.
Left and right.
Yeah, she turns into her fox form and starts running around. Yes, essentially it's like fucking gremlins when they get wet. It's just like blah 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 blah.
But there's one like electric fox and then like a sexy lady fox.
Yeah. It's weird. They just take over the television studio. I don't know.
We just put some good show notes, some good gremlin show notes.
Yeah, I mean, essentially, Rocky. God, Rocky's a star, man. I'm sorry. That raccoon with the giant balls, I just can't get over him.
I can't get over a chocolatey stick. So,
But yeah, I mean, this game is clearly a parallel to Gremlins 2.
yeah, absolutely. If anything, Gremlins 2, they just completely ripped off Pocky Rocky 2.
Just instead of Gizmo dressed as Rambo firing a flaming bow, you're a shrine maiden throwing cards. But even though I thought the bosses had a lot of personality and I liked their style, man, they were tough. Even the easy ones had like fucking loads of hit points. Mm-hmm. Like, I mean, you had to hit these motherfuckers hundreds of times.
Yes. Yeah.
No exaggeration.
Right, no exaggeration.
To defeat them. And the ones that were really aggressive, they weren't balanced. Because the ones that were really aggressive weren't any easier. They weren't any weaker. Do you know what I mean? They still had the same amount of hit points as the more passive bosses. Mm-hmm. And maybe that's why some of them felt really easy and some of them felt really hard. And
all the power you accumulate over a level, if you get hit once, you lose it all. So if you get the maxed out cards and like armor and stuff like that, just one hit, and mostly because your armor will give you where you can take more hits. So
right.
Like you can get
every time you get
the armor, clothes, and then a pair of rabbit ears.
Right.
So you can take like 3 or 4 hits before you're gone, but one hit completely drops your offensive power to the bottom.
The rabbit ears are a lot more useful than the rabbit ears in Smash Brothers.
Yep.
That's the first thing I thought when I picked up the rabbit ears. I was like, oh fuck, I've got the rabbit ears. Now what? now an awful thing is going to happen.
On Bowser, fuck. Or then you put it on somebody like Fox and just like you jump up and bam, life gone.
But yeah, every time you get hit, like you said, you lose a power-up, and your clothes fly off until you run out of clothes, I guess. That's when you die.
The Shrine Maiden is defiled since the enemies have now seen her naked, and that's it.
And Shrine Maidens are fetishized in hentai. Okay. So just to put a little dirty spin on this game.
The only hentai I've really been exposed to is a former, I'm using air quotes right now, roommate that I had, whenever I would go to bed, would use my computer to no dad to worry about at the apartment. So they'd masturbate on my computer while I was asleep.
Did you ever put your hand on his shoulder and say, "Caught you"?
He would have loved that. That would have been. He would have really kept going. But every morning when I would sit back down, turn on my computer, motherfucker would download tons of hentai to my desktop and not clear it out.
And send it to all my professors. I don't know.
Bring up that PowerPoint and just like, fuck. This is my roommate.
That actually leads into my favorite quote of this game. Would you like to hear it?
I would.
Quote, "Pocky, you should ride on me." End quote.
Mad
Dog.
His level and Gordon's level, I did not enjoy at all.
I liked Mad Dog's level, And I liked Gordon's level up until the boss that I couldn't beat. But
It's the same boss on both those levels.
it's the boss's brother. They're brothers.
Yeah. They're different. I think about a palette swap, but
Right.
it's about
But they explained themselves by saying, I'm this guy's brother. Fight me. And yeah, I could not beat him. His name was what? Bolta? This red face, essentially, and riding a cloud. He's got shake weights that shoot lightning bolts at you. I just couldn't. God, that guy made me so fucking mad. That is where I was like twisting the controller, and eventually I just set it down. I was like, nope, not
Don't blame you.
not today.
Not today.
Not today.
Not today, fucker.
What do we tell Bolta? Not today.
'Cause I think it was Volta and Bolta.
Something like that.
The Electricity Cloud Brothers.
Yeah.
That looked sort of like Cloudman from Mega Man.
Yeah.
Floating on a cloud, throwing lightning bolts at you, frustrating level.
All I could think about was Galactus from the fucking awful Fantastic Four movie.
The cloud of ships.
Yeah.
It's fuck God.
I hear they're making another one of those, by the way.
Yay! Let's just make more Hulk movies, Punisher movies, and Fantastic Four movies. They just go over so well. Actually, I'm kind of looking forward to the new Hulk movie because I love Mark Ruffalo, but he's the best Hulk so far in my opinion.
I agree.
I feel like Eric Bana wasn't bad, but he was just stuck in a shitty movie, just an awful script.
It was a bad movie.
Oh man,
Jennifer Connelly is the only thing that got me through that movie.
I remember watching. What's the movie? Why can't I think of the title now? Of course, I want to talk about it. The movie she was in as a kid, The Goblin
Labyrinth.
King, Labyrinth. I remember watching Labyrinth. Like in high school, I'd watched it when I was young. Then we watched it again in high school, and I was like, man, whatever happened in that movie? And then John was like, oh, and then put in Requiem for a Dream.
Oh, you hadn't seen her since
I
then?
had not seen her since Labyrinth.
God.
And then ass to ass.
Ass to ass. Man, I've had a...
Show notes.
We mentioned that before, you know. I've had a crush on her since... I can't remember the name of the movie, but... There's a movie that she is in where she's trapped in a department store with a guy who works there. And then, like, the department store gets robbed. God, I wish I could remember the name of that
Mannequin 4.
movie. Mannequin 4. No, I can't. But there is a gif out there of her in that movie where she's, like, wearing these, like, Daisy Dukes and riding one of, like, the horse rides that you put a quarter in.
Yep.
Ever since then, man, she's been on my top 5.
Okay. I do find her attractive.
She'd make a good shrine maiden.
Yep. she'd make a good raccoon ball master.
So Jennifer Connelly, we know you're listening. If you could get in touch with the executives and make the Pocky and Rocky movie happen, that would be good. I am willing to play Rocky.
We'll make our own costume.
I'll do it. We'll film it in our basement. It's cool. We're cool. Where are you going? Don't be scared.
You'll use the raccoon tail butt plug that we've seen advertised.
Have you been on extreme restraints recently or something?
I feel, was that a Gone Wild post on Reddit? Like they had like the kitsune ears, and then it was the butt plug that looked like a raccoon's tail. Yeah,
I haven't seen any of the raccoon tails, but I'm sure that
they're out there.
Yeah. But
You don't want to see the 9-tail version.
As soon as, because it's not 9 tails on one butt plug. It's 9 butt plugs. When we're done, I'm gonna see if the Tanuki Gone Wild subreddit exists. If it does, I'm fucking subscribing.
The TADPOG are the moderators for Tanuki Gone Wild.
I feel like I'm running out of gas on stuff to talk about for this game.
As I knew we would, I figured it would be a quick.
Because it's like you said, a short game. It's just one of those games where they've cranked the difficulty up to the max to make it last longer.
You don't get all the options that you have through the game you get at the beginning, so the formula doesn't change all that much.
You beat it.
Game. I did.
Is the last boss Impy?
No, Impy is the mid boss in the last level.
Okay, is that fight tough? Does he summon Ifrit and Shiva?
It's long. Just because Impy kind of chases you around, you can only do a few hits. You kind of just have to time throwing your partner at them, at Impy for, it's a very long, frustrating fight. Not that hard, just long.
So who's the boss then?
General Peaches.
Oh, you save a Captain Peaches early on in the game, don't you?
No, you're right. You save General Peaches, and he tells you about his superior who's been taken over. His mind is being controlled.
Okay.
So then he's the final boss, and you beat them. He turns back to normal, gives you the Moon Princess. Everything's peaceful, and Pocky and Rocky go back home.
That's it? That's how it ends?
Yep.
Okay. Well.
So they get back to their shrine, and then you see one of them bend over. It's like, oh, Pocky and Rocky.
Pocky and Rocky uncut. Is bestiality legal in Japan? If anyone knows, please call in.
We've asked about it enough. Somebody call in.
Because if it is, I
know.
got my passport. I'm just saying.
Asher Shakes in Japan. We'll go over there tomorrow. We got a place to stay.
What are all those round eyes doing humping our statues?
Although I did, I figured we'd run out of gas relatively early. Although we've gone very long our previous 2 shows, so we don't want to go super long on this one. But I did prepare sort of a bit.
A bit. Okay, well, I'll sit back.
I don't want you to participate, so
okay.
participate too.
Okay.
If
what do you
want.
need me to do? Foley work? You can tell a story. I'll provide the Foley. If that's not the bit, we're doing that in the future.
I've done a few impressions over the course of TADPOG.
Oh boy!
So it'll be kind of I'll do various impressions, or if there's something you want me to do, just say it, and I'll attempt to do it. But I want to do different impressions to get a little political. Reading all of Anthony Weiner's tweets that he sent back and forth recently, because originally Anthony Weiner stepped down from his position from tweeting that pic of his dick.
Right.
And apparently now he's asked for forgiveness, is now running again to be mayor of New York.
Right.
And has been caught in sending out more pictures of his dick and having lots of sex. Mm-hmm. So,
but what's wrong with that?
I've got the transcript. Nothing's wrong with that. I've got the transcript of his sex back and forth with a Las Vegas blackjack dealer.
Okay.
That I can read these texts in various impressions.
Okay.
The pretty NSFW. Like this is gonna be one of those episodes. Like Jess is gonna be like, "Do we have anyone that's gonna check out the site today?"
So you want me to tell you who to do them as?
Yeah, that's fine. I figured let's see.
Or do you have something prepared?
Well, I've done I've done Batman before, so I could read some as Batman.
Yeah, you've done Batman.
The Jackalope.
Yeah.
Josh Nance of Uniracers fame.
Okay.
Frieza from Dragon Ball Z.
Okay.
I don't think I've done Frieza on here before, but I've done Frieza before. The Nine-Tailed Fox from Naruto. Anyone else?
Okay. Sounds like you had it covered.
So winner tweet number 1 as Batman.
Okay.
You will surely make noise when I take you deep. I will tell you how tight your pussy feels.
How many characters was that, Batman? Did you provide a link?
Nope.
What's your clout score?
Listen, here's another good one. I'll follow up with another Batman. Wow, a Jewish girl who sucks cock. I think this thing is ready to do damage.
What does that even mean?
I don't know. Anthony Weiner, everybody.
I think I read that on the wall of a Shinto shrine.
And I have 20 of these. And they get increasingly worse.
Do you have achievements for this game?
Yes, I do.
Because I don't.
I've got 2 written down. The first one being kinetic card.
Nice.
Beat the game only throwing cards.
So not using melee or not throwing your partner? Mm-mm. That's a hard achievement to get. I like it, though. I see what you did there with the X-Men reference.
And then the next one, Tanuki Take All, which is only use Rocky as your partner throughout the entire game.
Okay.
I guess there could also be the Bomber Bro. Use Bomber Bob as your exclusive partner. Could be one for exclusively using each one.
Well,
Me to read off more tweets while
I think. It's like I can feel, you know how you like turn on your old compact and you hear that like this is a grinding sound? Like that's what I feel right now. Okay, this is awful, but I feel like I have to contribute. Thunder and lightning.
Okay.
And thunder and lightning is you have to beat both of the lightning brothers without dying. You can't die once. Because the way this we didn't even talk about this, which is sad. But the way the game works is if you die, you immediately come back to that spot as long as you've got a lot another life.
Yeah.
So That is awful. I'm sorry. But yours are very good, Tyler. Tyler.
Yes, Dave.
We've talked about a lot today. Mm-hmm. We've talked about Jennifer Connelly. Mm. And we've talked about wiener tweets.
Mm-hmm. Bestiality.
Japanese bestiality, right?
Hentai.
Hentai. And masturbation. And a little bit about Pocky and Rocky 2. If you had to give this game, Pocky and Rocky 2, a beard, what kind of beard do you think you'd give it to represent it as a game?
I would give it a blonde wizard beard, but you have to keep it while you're trying to get a job.
Okay. I see what you did. I like that one.
So people like it's a very, very long, it's blonde. So like food shows in it. If you smoke or dip, it gets the weird yellowish tint around it.
Right.
Like it shows everything. Mm-hmm. And you have a long wizard beard, people might be, hey, that's an interesting thing for just like a little bit.
And it's really challenging to get a job, I imagine, with a long blonde wizard beard.
Yes.
Much like Pocky and Rocky 2. Now, if you were to give this game a pair of glasses to put over the eyeballs, you got anything?
It's a stretch here.
Okay. Are we going back to the possum windshield from Sparkster episode?
Character on Naruto, Gaara of the Sand.
Gaara.
Gaara has the one-tailed Jinchuriki within him, which is a raccoon.
Right.
Gaara never sleeps, and therefore he gets he doesn't sleep, so he has insomnia. He has rings around his eyes, doubly manifested by the raccoon spirit. Naruto has whiskers because of the fox inside of him. Gaara has...
Man, you do not want a fox inside of you.
No. Such that nine-tailed fox.
Especially if it's not legal in Japan.
So I'd give this Gaara of the Sands raccoon eyeliners.
I think that's acceptable. I hope that our listeners are as lenient as I am, Tyler.
Because not really glasses. It's passable. Mm-hmm. It circles around your eyes.
It's optical related.
It's raccoon-esque. Mm-hmm. So not a really good pair of glasses. It's not going to function for you or anything. It looks kind of cool. It's a cool concept, but as glasses, not very good.
It's better than my achievement, so there you go. Some people called us.
Yeah.
Some people called us. You want to hear from them?
Yeah, I do.
Thanks, Rocky.
Hey, TADPOG. This is Tony. I have a question for Tyler and a question for Dave. My question for Tyler is, if you could make an Angreol or an Angreol, however you'd like to pronounce it, what would the Angreol look like and what would its function be? And the question I have for Dave is, because I know you're a fan of 90s television programming, if you were to make a video game out of the Golden Girls, what type of video game would that be? And could you describe the gameplay a little bit of that video game? All right, thanks, guys. And I'll be looking forward to hearing your answers.
That guy sounds a lot like Yugi's cousin.
He does.
This Tony fellow.
He does.
I don't know. What the fuck is an Angreol?
Okay, well, I believe...
Why is all angry?
I believe he means Terangreal, but Terangreal are... Because there are three sort of magic items in the Wheel of Time. Mm-hmm. Angreal, Saangreal, and Terangreal.
Okay.
Angreal increases how much power someone can channel. Like, if you can cast...
It's like extends.
Right. If you can cast third-level spells, you pick up an Angreal, you can cast fifth-level spells.
It doesn't really work.
Saangreal is like the epic version. There are very few Saangreal in the world. They boost your power through the roof.
Double dose of extends.
Yeah. It's Viagra plus extend.
You're really desperate.
And then Terangreal, that's everything else. Any other kind of magical function you could want. So the Terangreal that I would make... it would require a person to channel. Some Terangreal do not require a person to be able to channel. Only some people in the world have magical...
Like with a remote control? Checking the channels?
Yep, exactly.
Flipping through get to the right magic channel?
Yep. Damn, you don't even read the series.
Wait, what channel's 5 again, Mom? Fire.
That my Terangreal, it would require you to channel Sidene, which male channel Sidene, women channel Sidar. You have to channel Sidene into an onyx book. And when you channel into this book, it would immediately make all of your friends read the Wheel of Time series.
Against their will. It's evil.
Yeah,
It's dark magic.
Fuck it, it's fine. It's fine.
Dark magic.
I'm cool with it. We'll fucking go dark.
They all lose their jobs.
That's what I have to resort to.
They all like wind up in the hospital because they haven't slept for, I don't know what, 200 hours. Mm-hmm. They're like, you may lose some friends. Like some friends may die.
It'll be worth it. It'll be worth it.
Like they're on their like I'm on my deathbed, and it's just like all the machinery's beep beep. Like you're there, you're looking at me, and I'm all withered. I'm like, Tyler, those books were awful, and then I die.
Worth it.
Worth it. He read them. Fuck it. I bent him to my will.
Or I like to think I'm over you, and as soon as I read the last sentence, then you die.
Oh, it's like a sad, resonating moment.
Yep. It's like Old Yeller. I'm just putting you down.
I probably would feel like Old
You've
Yeller
lived
at
for
that
200 years because you haven't finished the Wheel of Time. Just let him die.
Tony, as for your Golden Girls question, man, when I listened to this call, I knew immediately where to go, and that is a dating sim 100%. I know you want me to elaborate, but I'm not gonna because it's gonna get pretty dark pretty fast. Let's just say if you don't get Blanche, shit gets weird. You don't.
Rose is acceptable.
You don't want Sophia.
No, you don't.
You don't want Sophia, who has actually George Burns in disguise.
And you don't want Dorothy because eventually you're gonna get roped in a three-way with Stan, and it's gonna get weird. No, oh man.
Pocky and Rocky 3, folks.
Dave and the Zabornax. Now I'm just throwing out Golden Girls trivia.
Hey, you answered your question.
I love the Golden Girls so much.
If anyone else was to call and ask Tyler a Golden Girls question, please do so.
Preferably
You don't love him enough to make him your Engerall. You didn't call Sarah Dean to summon Blanche.
6 people are very amused right now.
The 6 people that listen to our show.
Me, Wiley, Blake, and Tony. We're very very amused.
It's like Madden episode all over again, just with wizards. Got another call from a guy we might know.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. Lord Mike of Purdue here. I apologize up front. I have not had a chance to listen to this week's episode, this past week's full episode, I should say. So I can't go into this one knowing the answers to your Would You Rather for last week, but I wanted to go ahead and get this one in so you guys could have it for the next podcast. So here we go with this week's Would You Rather. God, it would help if I could speak. Now brought to you by Coca-Cola, the Coca-Cola original. No more fruity drinks, no more fruity girl drinks for that matter. Now brought to you by Coca-Cola. This week's Would You Rather save Kanye West from drowning or eat a sandwich? I'm making a sandwich. All right, guys. Keep up the good work. Talk to you soon.
First of all, I want to say I understand that you didn't make it through our 3-day-long Illusion of Gaia episode. I've sat through Law and Order marathons that are shorter than our Illusion of Gaia episode.
Our Matt Barger torture time. So that's what it's about. This makes more sense because Lord Mike sent me a Facebook message wishing me a happy Culinarians Day.
Yeah.
And then made reference. He's like, we're making a sandwich? It's like, son, I'm always making sandwiches. He's like, yeah, I figured that Would You Rather be pretty easy for you. This makes more sense because I don't listen to the phone calls until we record. So,
and I hadn't listened to this one either. I got a similar message from him where it was like, I can't even remember what it was, but something like a big old sandwich or something. I was like, and it was like at 1 a.m. And I'm like, I gotta go to work, man. What the fuck are you talking about? And I just set the phone back down. I gotta save Kanye West. I'm sorry. I gotta do it. I know a lot of people aren't gonna agree with me, but I think he's too important to hip hop. I just think he's too important to hip hop. I mean, I know if he died, it would free up Kim Kardashian for you, Tyler.
Fuck yeah. Oh, fuck yeah.
But I'm sorry, I gotta save him. Plus, I really don't like making sandwiches.
I enjoy making sandwiches, but He's a new father. We just can't leave that child to be raised solely by the Kardashians. Even though I'm not sure he won't be, but
Oh yeah, that kid. That kid's already sold pretty much. That kid has a value.
yep. So just maybe the child, maybe fatherhood will help convert Kanye. Maybe it will bring him back to earth a little bit. So yeah, we're gonna save Kanye West. I think we're both gonna save Kanye West.
With our powers combined.
Then I'll make a sandwich for all three of us. Well, four of us. Me, you, Kanye, and Lord Mike. We'll all have sandwiches.
And then we can hash this out.
Yep.
You could get your aggression out, Lord Mike.
Kanye can tweet Lord Mike. Be like, why won't you save me, dog?
Got another call.
Yeah, we'll call.
Gentlemen, it's Paul Cool once again. Just finished listening to the podcast. Well, for the most part, not quite done with the phone calls yet. But farting on strippers. Also, as for the $300 card, the recorded card, that sucks. I'm sorry. I've actually taken to hosting my own show, but not really important. I'm not going to plug my stuff. We're in Cleveland. Feel free to drop in. My couch.
Paul, I feel like this is an episode of Lost because some of your call cut out in the most important part where you talk about farting on strippers. So now I'm
I thought he said he bought 40 strippers wholesale. So TADPOG bought 40 strippers wholesale.
fuck, you never want to pay retail for strippers.
No.
Not in this economy. You'll be upside down.
Cost of strippers go through the fucking roof.
Yeah, I mean, if you fart glitter and strippers are always covered in glitter, just kind of makes sense, I think. You can make a interesting career out of providing them with the glitter that they desire to put themselves through college and raise their children without a father.
Yeah.
Also, I'm sorry that our Illusion of Gaia episode is too long for anyone to get through.
Yeah, apparently.
Everybody's calls
Yep.
like, pretty good episode to what I listened to, at least.
So we'll try to avoid future hour 40-minute episodes.
And if we ever find ourselves in a couch surfing situation, we may take you up.
Sounds good.
That's all the calls we got.
Okay.
Anybody we need to thank this week?
We do. So for Facebook shares, I want to thank John Turley, Matt Barger, Jesuit Silk Street Post, Josh Nance. We're going to assume Nicole Nance. We didn't see his shares, but we're going to assume Nicole Nance.
Well, we saw a photograph of her passing out TADPOG cards, so
should thank her for
she
that.
probably gets a pass for at least a couple of episodes, right?
Yeah. Superfan Dennis Robinson, Lord Mike of Purdue, Ramon Verdugo Castillo III, and we're assuming Kevin Link. Probably.
We're not very good at keeping Facebook records.
For tweets, I want to thank Tweet and Tony.
I like it.
Strong with the tweets. Old Tweet and Tony. For reviews, Master P's floated to the top.
What?
I think Master P's reworded.
We saw you. We've already seen you, man. Actually, I mean, I don't mind if you
No,
want to write another
thanks.
5-star review. That's perfectly fine with me.
Yeah, we'll just talk about you. Thank you, Master P's.
Yeah, appreciate
Thank
it.
you. Yeah, we shirts and mugs.
Thongs.
That'd be nice. Eventually, thongs. Yeah, we've got a thong in production. But I would eventually like to do that, but the logistics of designing shirts and mugs are probably a bit beyond us right now. Unless, like, if we get like 30 people like, hey, we'll buy shirts, here's money. Like, okay, we'll price up 30 shirts.
Talking about money, I completely forgot about what Paul mentioned about the external video card. On that episode, I mentioned that it was around $300. After we recorded that episode, I actually went on Amazon, and it is way down in price. It's like $150 now. So anyone wants to send us $150, I'm just saying.
So it's more considerable than you might have thought.
But I'm actually more interested in the line of thongs because we need to get on. I mean, we need to get finding models like now.
Yep.
To get those in
Yep.
production.
Some Japanese shrine maidens. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I won't rule out Tanukis either. That's the nastiest camel toe.
Just balls hanging
Yeah,
out
just
on
on either side.
Eerily silent Megan Holland.
What?
It's like her husband talking about the first vagina he ever touched. She doesn't want to retweet that to people at her church. Oh, I don't know. Meg, happy anniversary. We'll do a new segment called Kind Words. People who just said kind words to us.
Kind words.
So thank you, Jacob Short, for your kind words.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening, everybody. You can find the show at iTunes or Stitcher, so you don't miss the next episode. We'll be talking about, now we know, the 72nd ranked game, Rock and Roll Racing.
Rock and roll, baby.
Rock and Roll Racing. While you're there, don't forget to subscribe. Give the show a 5-star rating. I'll post a picture of what we're going to give away. Because
Okay.
so the prize still in the runnings. Multiple runnings. There are multiple
Cool
runnings,
runnings.
and there's a prize. Cool runnings.
If we can get a Jamaican bobsled team to each individually write us a 5-star review on iTunes, they automatically win Matt's package. I'm sorry.
We might, within either this month or next month, I might personally give away, do a double prize giveaway.
Whoa.
I
Ass to ass.
I bought a book off Amazon yesterday for a penny.
What book was it?
When I get it in and read it, then we'll talk about it. It's a book.
You're going to sell someone a used book
I will
that you
give
bought
someone.
for a penny?
I will give someone
Oh,
this
okay.
book.
Okay.
1 cent for the book, $4 for the shipping. But
It's not eligible for Prime?
no.
Amazon's not just shipping their 1 penny.
It's
books
a penny
for free?
hardback. So if that tells you the quality of this book that I got, so we might have a coin and a shitty book giveaway. If anybody wants it when I'm done with it.
That's the title of it. I'm sorry. Shitty book giveaway. I'm going to find a shitty book to throw in as well, okay?
Give away shitty books.
We'll link the shitty books in our show notes to our Amazon page, and if anyone buys them, we'll get 6% of a penny.
Yeah.
It'll be more than we have right now.
But if you give us a 5-star rating, you might win a special Mario coin, get a shitty book, and you keep the gun out of Dave's mouth.
2 shitty books.
2 shitty books. So much stuff from these 5-star reviews.
And we'll send you a dick pic. Why not?
The Mario coin actually being rather cool.
Yeah, it is. Thanks once again to Matt for providing a good prize.
Yep. Those shitty books we're gonna give away. I do have a rough condition Earthbound strategy guide that I would be willing to give away to somebody. It's worth decent money. We get enough 5-star reviews, I will give it to a fan.
I think we need some skin for that. I'm sorry.
So
I'm just saying.
somebody needs to send us naked pictures.
I think we need. I mean, you can take that however you want.
I mean, when we're just asking for naked pictures, take it however you want, Micah.
I was talking about a skin suit, but fine.
You're going all weird about it.
Weirdo.
Naked picture.
Ugh.
I want a Buffalo Bill skin suit.
Gross. How else am I going to go to work when I don't shave? Don't worry, guys. We will be back next week. But if you can't wait for more TADPOG goodness, you can always leave us feedback on tadpog.com. We love it. You can also find us on facebook.com/TADPOG. A lot of cool people are posting cool stuff. You should check it out.
I give away Steam games.
Yeah. Tyler's been giving away Steam games left and right. You're crazy not to check out our page. Also, if you want to be one of the people who calls into the show and leaves us a voicemail and asks us wonderful questions, you can give us a call at 270-883-2555. That is the TADPOG line. Tyler, our intro song is Moves
Moves.
by a Scottish gentleman, I believe,
Okay. We're narrowing it down.
who goes by the name of Sycamore Drive.
Okay. All right.
I bet you can find a link to that track on the show notes on tadpog.com.
Yeah.
You want to talk us off with a wiener tweet?
The wiener tweet.
Can you do it as David Bowie from The Labyrinth? Would you like a sample?
I'm trying to think. To dance with. I don't think I do a David Bowie.
That sounded a lot like Rocky, motherfucker.
I know. I started going Rocky. I was like, nah, it's not right at all.
Speaking of Rocky, I never mentioned this in the BioShock Infinite, but doesn't fucking Booker sound like Sylvester Stallone whenever he gets a vigor? Like every time he's like, what does he say? Oh God, what does he say?
Adrian.
No, he says, I feel better already. Like every time I'm like, fuck, man. I'm like completely taken out. Like, this is Sylvester Stallone.
Think, I'll try to do an impression of your impression. Think of my rock hard cock practicing. God, Anthony, I'm coming again.
No, let's be fair. That sounded more like my shack. That's a show.
It needs your pussy juice.
Thanks, Rocky. More at 11.
It needs already a pussy juice. I don't know.
Poor fucking Pocky. That's all I gotta say.
Flip. You'll gag on me before you come with me in you.